The warrior life. Hyped up, talked down, lauded as the ultimate struggle in classic World of Warcraft. Probably because it is. While everyone wants to tell you how to level fast or hamstring kite or whatever the hell else, I think it's more important to have a small set of goals as you get through as a warrior. Today's video will focus on the center of every warrior's life, their weapon. The source of all your dodges, parries, glances, misses, and blocks. I'm Axis of Axis, and this is a guide on how to get a great weapon between level 10 and 29. This is a guide, not a hard set of rules. I'll be following your average player's route through their start zone for all the races and the best weapons they can pick up overall. I'll be including a more universal weapon that you can get if you can't finish a quest, if you need a different reward, or whatever the hell else happens. Also keep in mind you need to train certain weapon skills in order to use your two-hander choice, which you'll be able to do starting at level 10. So that's where we'll start. Level 10 through 11. You're level 10. The warrior life has been a little hard, but you've got yourself defensive stance and you can finally start training to use new weapons. You muster up 10 silver, but you're not sure what to train yet. You gotta find yourself a weapon first. So where do you go? We'll start with the allies first. Humans are going to be looking for the balanced fighting stick. You'll need to pick up Wanted HOGGER from a notice board outside Westbrook Garrison at level 5 or higher. Head south from there, bring a few friends, and murder HOGGER. He's a level 11 elite. Take his paw and head back to Goldshire for your reward. Keep in mind, you'll have to balance this between either the staff or a nice set of mail leggings. So you may keep in mind to do the universal warrior weapon that'll come up later on. Dwarves and gnomes will be picking up the Coldridge Hammer. Amberstill Ranch is the place to go. Talk to Rudra Amberstill and get the Protecting the Herd quest at level 6 or higher, and head just north and kill the burly Yeti Vagash. He is a level 11 elite, so make sure you get some help unless you are an absolute Chad and you kite him down with a ranged weapon. With his fang, just return and get that hammer. Now remember, you'll need to get training to use this, which you can get fairly easily in Ironforge at level 10. Night Elves will be going for the Gritroot Staff. It all starts at level 4 or so from Othridus Bearmantle in Dolinar. You'll be doing a small handful of kill and check-in quests, but you'll eventually get to the quest Relics of Awakening. Now this is a somewhat difficult quest, especially for warriors at this level. So make sure you group up and clear your way through these barrow dens, getting the items that you need. You'll have to make a hard choice between this staff and a set of mail leggings. But getting the upcoming universal weapon that I'll mention later is a bit of a pain in Teldrassil. There's no copper whatsoever. So you may want to cruise for the auction house. Next we have the Horde. Orcs and trolls have access to the Steady Bastard Sword. It's part of a quest chain that starts all the way at level 2 with Vile Familiars from Zaretha Fargaze. If you're an orc or a troll, you've done this quest, I guarantee it. Just follow the chain, it'll eventually lead you to the quest Dark Storms and Margaz. And then our target quest, which is Skull Rock, which requires level 8. While Skull Rock for your sword is actually pretty easy to finish at level 9 or 10, the previous quest, Dark Storms, is hard to finish solo. So make sure you bring some friends and you'll have a nice blade to use in no time. Just keep in mind, you gotta go to Undercity to train this quest, so you'll get your first taste of using a Zeppelin. Tarn will get the absolutely great Goblin Smasher, a very strong mace with a somewhat difficult quest associated with it. You will first have to get the quest The Ravaged Caravan from Morn Cloudstalker at level 5 or higher. Follow the quest chain until you unlock the quest Supervisor Fizz Sprocket. You'll be sent into a mine to kill this level 12 NPC. While you can solo it, it can get a little tight and these mobs like to run away, so bring a friend, otherwise just be a really, really, really smart Tarn warrior. Undead will get arguably the best weapon of them all, the Bone Cracker. Starting at level 7 or higher, head to Brill and meet up with Coleman Farthing. you'll need to complete the somewhat difficult quest chain called the Haunted Mills. Finish this and head over to the Magistrate in Brill. We'll then set you up with the Family Crypt. You'll be called to kill a level 13 named mobster and his ilk, so make sure you bring friends as they're very closely packed together in the crypt. While the hammer is great, the weapon training will take you all the way to Thunderbluff, so it's quite a trip, but I think it's worth it for this great weapon. A more universally available weapon is the Copper Battle Axe. If you can't find yourself a weapon from a quest, or you find one that's too difficult to train, just go for one that blacksmiths can make. They can train this at level 35 of blacksmithing, which is very easy to get if they have enough rough stone. You'll usually have some malachite by now, and getting leather and copper in the start zone is very easy to buy or grind for yourself. Get the mats, get the axe, and you've got yourself a very, very potent weapon. Level 12 through 14. You got a taste of that fat white damage. You're starting to get some greens, but it's all centered around your weapon of choice. But you've just unlocked Overpower. You want to get a big meaty weapon to match those big hits. So where do you go? We'll start with the allies again. Humans get access to the edge of the People's Militia. This is an exceptional weapon you can get fairly early, all the way at level 9, but I recommend completing this quest at around level 13. Talk to Grain Stoutmantle in Sentinel Hill and pick up the quest The People's Militia, and follow the 3-part chain. You'll have to kill a lot of mobs. Specifically, the mobs in the second part of the chain, Defias Pillagers, are difficult, so you may want to team up for this. But you can solo it if you're careful. It's good experience and a great weapon. Easy to team up for to finish as well. Dwarves and gnomes will be going for the Trog Slicer. You can get this weapon right around level 13 by grabbing Ironbrand's Excavation from Jern Hornhelm in Thelsamar. Follow the quest to Gathering Idols. We'll be tasked with collecting a number of drops from the nearby Trogs. They are somewhat higher level, about level 17, so you need to team up to kill them, but they're pretty basic and you should be able to take them on and get access to this powerful weapon. Night Elves will be going for the Oak Thrush Staff. This is a reasonably easy weapon to get, after your last one, that is. You'll start with the Red Crystal quest from Sentinel Glinda Nal Shay in Auberdine. You'll be running back and forth between the quest start and end a few times up until the quest finishes with Fragments Within, which you'll get after pouring some water on this quest object. So long as you dodge the Moonkin, this is a fairly easy to obtain weapon. Next for the Horde. Tauren, Orcs, and Trolls will all come together in the Barrens and get the Cauldron Stir. You'll start this quest from Apothecary Helbram with the quest Fungal Spores. It'll see you grabbing some mushrooms at a nearby oasis and running back. He'll have you finish the quest chain with a casual run or a flight path all the way over to Thunderbluff, and Apothecary ZAMAH, and you'll receive a set of potions, and this pretty easy to get weapon. Very easy quest, solid weapon. The Undead are going to go for the Log Splitter. This is a sturdy weapon that starts with the quest Prove Your Worth from Dolinar Dawnweaver and the Sepulchre, as early as level 5. You want to be closer to level 12 to finish this chain, which will see you killing Worgen all the way to the quest Argyl's Folly. The quest will see you kill some 14 to 16 elites in Pyrewood Village to the south. Bring a few friends, knock this out, and get your sturdy and wonderful reward. This time we have 2 universal weapons. The first is the Heavy Copper Broadsword. This is a great weapon if you miss a quest or you need an alternative reward. Find yourself a blacksmith with a skill of 95. This is a little more difficult than the previous universal weapon, especially on a fresh server, but there's always somebody who's doing blacksmithing. Tiger's Eye and Copper should be easy to get this level, and there are plenty of people with medium leather. Get it crafted, and it should be cheap if you're lucky. The other option, if you can't find this, is the Heavy Spiked Mace. This is a vendor weapon, one of a very select few that you can get in the game, and it's about 74 silver. You can get it from Vrang Wildgore, who patrols from Crossroads to Ratchet in the Barrens, from Wallace the Blind, who hangs out by the Greymane Wall in Silverpine Forest, from Kiz Bluntstrike in Booty Bay in Stranglethorn Vale, From Antonio Pirelli, who patrols between Goldshire and Eastvale Logging Camp in Elwyn Forest, or from Nilan Endermar at the Stonerot Dam in Loch Madon. Level 15 through 17. You got a feel for your class. Your hamstring kiting, thunderclapping. You maybe even tanked an RFC or an elite quest. The warrior life has come with deaths and hardship, but you feel good. Now you need a new weapon before you take your first trip into a big boy dungeon like Wailing Caverns or Dead Mines. On the ally side once more, humans will go for Miner's Revenge. Grab the quest off Wilder Thistlenettle at level 15 or higher in Stormwind's Dwarven District. You'll need to kill Foreman Thistlenettle in the pre-dungeon area of the Dead Mines. He's a level 20 elite, but you can take him down with a group at around 17 or maybe even 16. Get the quest item and return for a slow, strong weapon that'll tide you over for a few levels. Dwarves and gnomes should go for the Dwarven Tree Chopper. Starting at level 16, you can start the first part of the quest chain from Chief Engineer Henderweir VII, called A Dark Threat Looms. You'll be darting around doing a number of talking quests before you have to kill a number of monsters, including a level 17 or 18 elite. You'll want to engage in some cooperation before completing the quest and getting yourself a good weapon. Night Elves will go for the Woodsman's Sword. Starting at level 12 or higher, you'll begin with the quest Cave Mushrooms from Barathas Moonshade in Aberdyne. You'll follow the quest chain killing mobs and collecting items and eventually getting to Onu in southern Darkshore, who will send you to complete the quest Maestra Relics. A lot of running and killing, but you're around level 15 or 16 at that point. You should be able to handle it solo and get a great looking sword for your efforts. On to the Horde. Tauren, Orcs, and Trolls will get the Semiflage Screwdriver. There are a number of weapons in the Barrens, but I think this is the safest to get early on, but if you're capable you can always go for the Zephyr Axe instead. But the Screwdriver quest starts at the quest Semiflage down in Ratchet from Sputtervale. Talk to him and follow a series of quests starting as early as level 10. They'll direct you around until you meet Really Greasy Gob in Orgrimmar, who will send you to assemble a manual at about level 15 or so. Knock out the quest and get yourself a quick and powerful weapon. The Undead will be getting the high IQ Serenium Rod. Starting at level 10 or so, pick up the quest Border Crossing from Shadow Priest Alistair in the Sepulchre in Silverpine Forest. Follow the quest down its lengthy chain to the quest The Weaver. This quest will have you dealing with a very dangerous level 22 mob, so you want to group up to deal with this mad wizard because he's normally grouped up with a couple of NPCs and it's just a nightmare. Kill him and get your reward. It's very simple. The universal weapon is the Blessed Claymore. This is a bit easier to get, especially if you're one of the undead that level 22 is harsh. This is a vendor weapon that you can get for about 1 gold and 24 silver. You can get it from Brack Durnad in the Menethil Harbor in the Wetlands, from Wallace the Blind, who hangs out by the Greymane Wall in Silverpine Forest, from Ott in Tar and Mill in Hillspread Footwills, from Antonio Pirelli, who patrols between Goldshire and Eastvale Logging Camp in Elwyn Forest, or from Pitter Vernance in Theramore in Dustwallow Marsh. Level 18 to 20. You're a real warrior now. Warriors live and die in instances, dungeons, battlegrounds, raids. This is where warriors thrive, and many of your future weapons will come from dungeons. So where do you start? The Alliance will be going for Smite's Mighty Hammer. It drops off Mr. Smite in the Dead Mines. Now, Dead Mines is a dangerous place. I recommend being a minimum of level 18 to run this dungeon, and while tanking at that level is somewhat scary, there's no better place to learn. There are a wealth of weapons available: the Taskmaster's Axe, the Emberstone Staff, and of course, Smite's Mighty Hammer, the best of the three. I recommend running the dungeon several times at the very least to get one of those three. Now, while the Dead Mines quest reward Staff of Westfall, is pretty strong, the mail leggings are going to do you a lot better in the long run, so don't take the staff. The Horde should go for the Living Root. It comes off Verdun the Ever-Living in the Wailing Caverns. Now, Wailing Caverns is a rough dungeon. It's fairly long, and it's very difficult, but there's lots of great gear, including this staff. You should be about level 18 or 19 to finish the dungeon easily, and you can use this weapon not long after. Don't be too upset if you don't get it. The Crescent Staff quest reward from the dungeon quest for Wailing Caverns is about as good, if not better, depending on your preferences, so you can settle for it instead. Level 21 through 23. Level 20. You can dual wield. But who the hell wants to use two little baby swords when you can use a turbo, powerful, massive weapon? Up the chain, a new level, a new weapon. As we go higher, the choice of weapons is more uniform. Let's see what you get. The weapon to get for all warriors is Odo's Lay Staff. While it is arguable that Smite's Mighty Hammer is better, all warriors can benefit from this weapon if you can get it. A fairly common drop from Odo the Blind Watcher and Shadowfang Keep, this weapon has a lot of spirit, which helps cut downtime, a chunk of stamina, and a somewhat poor weapon speed. Just make sure you don't steal it from a caster in need, but most casters will have a Staff of Westfall or a Crescent Staff, so don't stress. Level 24 through 26. You can feel it in your bones. You're close. Soon you'll be level 30. Become the Berserker. Begin the quest for your Whirlwind weapon, but there's still a ways to go. The weapon to pursue is Strike of the Hydra. This is a drop off of Akumai in Black Fathom Deeps. A slow, powerful sword with an exceptionally good proc. This weapon looks cool, it feels cool, and it will do you well for a while. BFD is a rather difficult dungeon though, so if you plan to grind for this, be ready for a long haul. Level 27 through 29. You might just want to rush to 30. Start grinding for that Whirlwind weapon. But you'll need a friend to help you crank through that quest. Lucky for warriors, one of your best friends awaits. The weapon that changes it all is the legendary Corpse Maker. The axe drops off Overlord Ramtusk in Razorfen Crawl. An early boss and fairly easy to grind, the axe is perfect for Warsong Gulch, World PvP, and obliterating your mobs all the way through Azeroth. It's a joy to use, and you can get some of the juiciest overpower procs you've ever seen. I absolutely love this weapon, and I would recommend getting it every time. The next weapon you get is pretty obvious, but we'll save that for another video. I really appreciate you guys taking a minute to watch this. I've been gearing up to play Classic, and I hate the idea of following a leveling guide. Vanilla WoW for me has always been about weapons. So a journey to finding new ways to get that weapon and to beat people up, it's the warrior life. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know with a comment or a like. I'd really appreciate that. I'll probably make another series going from level 30 to level 55. Maybe some warrior tips if you guys like it. Lately, I'm streaming on Twitch. So if you want to see me die a lot in League of Legends or on my warrior for Classic or for Northdale or for whatever the hell else, check me out at twitch.tv/AxisOfAxis. God bless, guys.